Okay, happy Monday, Inspire Beauty. Lately, I have been saying this phrase, you're like crazy. I feel like I'm like crazy Aunt Brittany, maybe, where I get these like phrases, these catchphrases, and I latch onto them for a while. And lately, I've been saying to you guys, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've been saying, come to these Mondays ready to learn and leave ready to move. And that's my heart. Like these Mondays light me up. They've been a non-negotiable for me in my business since forever. When I had an upline who was actively hosting Monday night team calls, I actually don't remember if they were Mondays or Sundays or what they were, but I got on them and I'm pretty sure it was like a dial-in number and whatever. It was like kind of weird. You dialed an 800 number and you just listened. And that's how we used to do team calls. Now it's so much better because we get to connect. We can share stuff, like in the chats and everything. We can all be connected. But before it was like, you just literally listen to somebody's conference call. But I got on all of them because that's what my coach told me to do. And anything she told me to do in the beginning, I did because she was where I wanted to be. So I put my trust in her that she was mentoring me and guiding me and that she had my best interest in mind. So Mondays for me have always been non-negotiable. I love them. Coming ready to learn and then leaving ready to move, right? And so I hope that for you tonight. A couple of announcements before I introduce Sonya. We are 6 weeks into the Take Action Challenge. If you've been under a rock, the Take Action Challenge is a contest that Beachbody is doing right now. And there are so many stinking prizes you can win, but it's so simple. You get entries for every time you're basically logging your action. And that's something that's been also laid on my heart a lot lately. I pulled out this card today for my affirmations, and it says, today I take action over getting stopped by perfection. And I pulled that one out for myself today because even me, I find myself getting stuck in inaction, right? And I think action, even heard Autumn say it today in the workout, that it's not about the goal. If you're not meeting the goal, don't modify the goal, modify the behavior. Right? And so I loved it. Kevin Shaw kind of posted about that we're 6 weeks into the Take Action Challenge. And he posed a question on the champions page saying, have you taken action beyond what is normal for you? In these last 6 weeks, have you taken action that's beyond normal for you? And if your answer is yes, was it a one-time thing or are you creating a new normal? We need repetition. We need these patterns. We need things to become automatic for ourselves. And so my battle cry for you is use the next 6 weeks of the Take Action Challenge. They made it 12 weeks on purpose because they wanted you to learn a new normal. So I want you to find a new normal in taking action. If you haven't been logging in the digital tracker, make this the week that is a non-negotiable. Make it a new normal, right? Also on my heart, and I already I got so much on my heart lately, but it goes right along with taking action, is that we have to unlearn the quit. We've learned how to quit way too easily as a society. We have to unlearn that quit. And so when you start to feel that pull of like, don't do the things, you have to ask yourself, is that truly something you want to work for? If that dream is on your heart, which I know it is, don't quit the goal, don't quit the dream. Modify the actions, modify the behaviors. On that note, I have something really special to share with you guys. Because you're on live with me, you get a little treat. We have our summit virtual / not so virtual hang coming up this summer. And there's two parts to this. Number one, if you can get here, I've opened up 20 spots to Dallas for us to experience Summit together, okay? And so far, 17 of our teammates have said yes. We have 3 slots left, and that's it. Once it gets to 20, unfortunately, that's it, done deal. I've got to close it off. We just don't have the space for everybody, right? But I wanted to share with you guys tonight to create a little FOMO, because there's also a virtual option if just coming here is not in the cards for you. But the FOMO, you guys, is we've officially gotten our swag tank that is included with your tickets. You will get this. This is the only way you will get this tank. So if you want this Inspire Beauty tank that is coming this summer to a theater near you, you either need to come take one of those last 3 spots for Dallas and hug us all in person, or your alternative is to get a $30 virtual summit access ticket. What does that come with? Well, it comes with a tank top. Guys, a tank top is almost already $30. So like you're getting a freaking smoking deal. Your tank top's going to be mailed to your house. You're getting a swag bag of other goodies that I will not let you know about just yet, mailed to your house. And then you'll have access to join all of us for every summit workout that we do, as well as Zoom access links to do watch parties with us for all of the sessions. My friends, if you've never been to Summit, whether virtual or in the flesh, you've never been a coach. I'm just going to say it. Like if you haven't been to live events, and I'm going to use this to transition into introducing Sonya, because if you haven't been to live events like the Success Club trips or Coach Summit or even Super Saturdays, if you haven't been to those live events, NLC, right? All those things, you truly haven't opened up the potential of this opportunity. I was looking back, Sonya and I we go back. Neither of us have working uplines. So we connected a long time ago, many, many years ago, because we didn't have working uplines. And we connected because we were actually both going to Mexico for the Success Club trip. And we were both also pushing to go to NLC, which she has checked off. And so it's so cool to like see these relationships that you can build in this business when you decide not to become a victim of your circumstances, but instead allow that to be a catalyst for why you should keep going, right? And so Sonia's got a word today. Like I love her longevity, her grit in this business. When we talked way back in the day, you know, she used to phrase to me, I don't have a team yet. Like I don't have a team yet. How cool is that? Who here feels like I don't have a team yet? Yeah, but then you just keep freaking going. And then one day you wake up and you're on someone else's team call sharing your story and your heart. I'm going to give you her stats real quick, because I think that's important, because it's important to cheer and clap for other people, right? I believe in that wholeheartedly. She's been a coach, like I said, for quite a while, since 2013. She was a discount coach for many years. So all y'all out there who, you know, you've felt that pull to maybe just be a discount coach again, no, you pulled yourself out of that discount coach only category for a reason. Keep chasing that, right? But then when she started deciding to work the business, things like getting to attend the Success Club trip in Mexico and taking her husband with her, things like going lifetime 1-star with her team and getting to go to NLC and get spoiled. Did you go virtually or did you get to physically go? Yeah.
And unmute myself. Yeah, I actually got to go. I think it was 2019, so right before COVID.
Okay. So exactly. So in the flesh, which like, you just feel like a freaking rock star. She's a Success Club All-Star, meaning 12 months in a row without fail. Dog mama, wife, and lives in Florida. And you know, I love to share the accolades because I love to clap and celebrate other people. But you guys, I'm so excited for her tonight because she's going to talk about consistency. And somebody who's been in this business for the long haul, I know that those are real shiny and that's real fancy. And we all want those, right? But it's the stuff she's about to tell you about behind the scenes, the stuff in the trenches. That's how you get to this stuff, right? So lean in, like I said, to start, come ready to learn, be expectant, be open, be ready. And then I want you to leave ready to move. Okay, deal? All right, I'm going to mute myself. Sonya, you can take it away, sis.
Okay, I'm so excited. I'm kind of nervous, but you just fired me up, so I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to kind of share a little bit about my story and then end with some tips I have. But I have kind of like 3 start dates. So I'm just going to walk you through my entire coach journey. Like she said, I'm Sonya. I live in Florida in a very small town with my husband, 3 dogs and 2 horses. And I have been with Beachbody since 2013, which is insane to me. I cannot believe how fast it's gone by. And I always say I kind of accidentally signed up as a coach because I feel like even the word back then, coach, scared me. I was like, that's too much responsibility. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I was just super skeptical. So before Beachbody, just really quick, so you kind of understand who I was before, I was super negative. I had horrible body image. I was so unhealthy. I was all about taking diet pills and doing fad diets. And my only goal was to be skinny and look good in a bathing suit. And I kind of grew up watching all the women in my family struggle with their weight and go to diet pills or diet food. So that's just kind of where my mindset was. That's what I thought I needed to do. And so I was the one that would go to the gym, but I wouldn't have a clue what I was doing. I was trying all the things, but I just wasn't successful because I feel like I wasn't doing it with the right mindset and I wasn't doing it in a healthy way. So I actually just happened to go to a group fitness class. It was like a boot camp close to where I live. And that's where I met my Beachbody coach. She was a personal trainer. She taught group fitness and she had actually just got started with Beachbody. She was actually looking for like healthier supplements to recommend to her clients. So after a few classes of like getting to know her, I just completely fell in love with her. She's still awesome. She doesn't really work the business, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but she's still my great friend. And I'm forever grateful that she introduced me to Beachbody. And so I just immediately like built trust with her. And so I kind of went to her and I was like, I'm still struggling. Like, obviously, just doing these fitness classes isn't enough. Like, I needed help nutrition wise. And that's when she introduced me to Beachbody. She got me started with Shakeology, plugged me into her challenge group. And my first program I ever did was T25, back when it was just DVDs with Shaun T. Like, that's how old, that's how long I've been in this business. And I just completely fell in love with everything Beachbody. It was unlike anything I had ever experienced. I had never had, a group of women to help keep me accountable and encourage me and inspire me. I never had a place to educate myself. Like I said, I was into, the low calorie food, and I just didn't know what it meant to be healthy. And so that's where everything kind of changed for me. Like I said, I fell in love with everything, mostly this community. I finally felt like I had somewhere that like I could be a part of, and I didn't have that before. So I got, in the best shape of my life, fell in love. I did all the Beachbody programs just about. That was back when you had to buy DVDs before BOD came out. I bought all the DVDs. I stayed in her challenge group and just completely fell in love with the health and fitness Beachbody side of things. But I wanted nothing to do with coaching. And this is why I always tell people never discount your discount coaches. Like I said, I signed up as a coach because I needed a discount. I had just graduated college and I was like, living paycheck to paycheck, needed to save money. But for some reason, I really don't know why. I wish I could remember this far, like long ago, like why I stayed on Shakeology, because I feel like I really couldn't afford it back then. But it was just something like I knew this would change my life. It had already changed it in that month. And I knew that like this is what I finally needed. So I, like I said, signed up as a coach, did the discount, all of that. And she put me on her team page. And this is why I still put, even if coaches sign up and they're just a discount, I put them on my team page because that's how I got started. I watched my coach go on these trips and go to Summit and go to Vegas and go on these cruises. And deep down, I was like, I want to do that. But I was so like, I just had zero belief in myself. I was just like, that's great for them, but I could never do that. At that time I was in like my third job out of college, and I was like the check your boxes type of girl. Like, okay, I went to school, I got the corporate job, I have the benefits, this is what I'm supposed to do until I retire. And I just found myself completely miserable. I was, like I said, in my third job out of college. I had so much anxiety, I had a horrible boss, it just wasn't a good situation. I cried every single week, and I was just lost. I was miserable. I always thought it was because I hadn't found my dream job, or because we lived in a small town, we needed to move to a bigger city where there was more opportunity. And now looking back, I realized like my dream job was not to work for someone else. And I feel like I've kind of already always had that entrepreneur mindset. I just didn't know what that was back in the day. But I had this feeling like I always had this feeling like I wanted to do more with my life. That I was like, I wanted to do more than just work that, 40 hours, 2 weeks vacation, got a raise when, somebody else told me that I was worth it. I always wanted more, but I had no clue really what that feeling meant or how I was going to get there. So just kind of fast forward, it was just one of those horrible weeks that I was crying and had anxiety. And my boyfriend, or no, he was my fiance at the time, said, you like don't have to stay in this job. Like, if you're that miserable, you can make money anywhere. Like, don't be this miserable over a job. And at this time, we're planning our wedding. And I really got to thinking about it because I was like, this is supposed to be one of the happiest times in our life, planning our wedding. And I was so miserable, and it was from this job. And so that's kind of, I don't know if I had like an aha moment or if it was just a series like over months, but I finally realized like what I wanted, like I said, was to not work for somebody else, but that coaching had been there the entire time. So we're fast forwarding. This was like 2016 when we got married and when all this was going down. And so I figured like instead of asking, like I always said like good for them, I kind of was like, why not me? Why can't I do this? I've watched these coaches. I've watched my coach for years. I've fallen in love with this business. I don't even know how many people at that point I had gotten started because I had been doing Beachbody for years at that point. And finally I was like, why not just go for it? Like my fiance at the time said, I can make money anywhere. So I kind of decided there that I wanted to go on our honeymoon and have peace of mind that I didn't have to come back to that job that I hated so much. And I don't even like to use the word hate, but that's where I was with this job. And so that's what I did. I gave my job plenty of notice, like 6 months. I ended up getting a waitressing job because I knew I wasn't going to be making money with Beachbody right away. I was planning our wedding and I was doing Beachbody. And so that was a huge thing for me. We had an amazing wedding and a honeymoon, and I got to come back and I didn't have to go back to that job. But I meant to say this at the beginning too. My coach story is not just like this straight. I decided to go for it and hit 5-star elite and all that stuff. Like my my coach story is a roller coaster. I'm not one of those that had success right away. I have failed many times. I have wasted a lot of time. So that's kind of where I'm getting to this. That was 2016. That waitressing job. My goal was to just have it last a year. It ended up lasting about 3, because I was not doing what I was supposed to be doing. I think I came home from our honeymoon, and I just had all this newfound freedom, and I was just happy I didn't have to go back to that job. But I wasn't doing the things you needed to do as a coach. I wasn't doing the scary things, the invites, the all of that stuff. So I didn't grow. A year and a half in, I had not gotten any further. I think I was still an emerald at the time. And I just was like, okay, something has to change. And so that's where I kind of say I have 3 start dates. I have the health and fitness when I got actually started as a discount coach, when I decided to quit my full-time job, and then when I actually started doing the things you're supposed to do as a coach to grow. And for me, that was January of 2018. It was kind of when it seemed like everybody was transitioning from Facebook to Instagram. Instagram stories had rolled out. It was all really still new. But also at that time, 80 Day Obsession launched. And I kind of went into it because I was really getting burnt out on Facebook. It wasn't fun for me anymore. And I was just at the pivotal moment. Like, do I continue to do this? Do I go back and get my full-time job? Or do I try something new and scary, do this Instagram thing, learn something new, and just go for it? And so again, like Brittany said, I don't have an upline. Like my coach then, she quit the business around the time that I started it. And she was never on Instagram anyways. So I pretty much was like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to learn Instagram. I looked up YouTube videos. I watched coach trainings, watched team calls, the national wake up call, all of that, and basically taught myself everything I needed to know on Instagram. And I kind of went into 2018 and 80 Day Obsession with, I'm going to do this program start to finish exactly how it's supposed to be followed. And I'm also going to show up on my Instagram stories every single day and share my journey. And that's when it really all started for me. At that time, I think I only had like 500 followers on Instagram, and I've continued to show up on there and stay consistent since that day of starting 80 Day Obsession. So that's kind of where I'm at today. Like she said, she shared all my stats and all of that. But again, I'm not one of those coach stories that had success overnight. I still feel like I struggle in this business. I still feel like I have goals that I want to hit and then goals that I've missed. But I heard this the other day. I think it was another coach said that this business is not a linear journey. It's a roller coaster, but you're going constantly in an upward motion. And I feel like if you can look at everything that you do and maybe goals that you've missed or whatever, instead of like the fact that you're a failure, you're not good at this, you're growing with that every single thing that you go through. And I feel like that is kind of my, I guess, superpower or whatever you would say in this business is I've gone through a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've wasted a lot of time. But I feel like when I made the decision in 2018 to go for it, I just have been consistent ever since. No matter how many, times I've missed, a rank advancement or coaches have quit or I've gotten ghosted, I've continued to show up on my stories and stay consistent since 2018. And so this is kind of where I'm going to get into my tips a little bit and kind of how they relate to my story. Again, number 1 would be just obviously being consistent. I've showed up on my stories and I've never let them run out, except like here and there just to kind of, I feel like when story views go down, I've heard that if you let them like stop and reset, so I've tried stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm showing up. And I really feel like that's where I've built trust with people, because no matter what, I show up. If I'm real, if I'm struggling, whatever it is I have going on, I show up. And I don't know how many messages I get that people are like, this is why I follow you, because you're real, because you continue to show up. And I feel like if you can show that you're being consistent, like that's going to show, not only are they going to build trust with you, but they're going to be like, gosh, if she's that consistent, showing up on social media. Imagine how she would be like if she was my coach and I joined her group and all of that stuff. So basically, show up every single day. I have so many new coaches that start and they'll show up for a little while and then they'll they don't post for 3 weeks, or they don't post on their feed for a month. And I'm like, if you're inviting somebody and they're coming back to your page and you haven't posted in a month, they're going to be like, what in the heck are you talking about? You don't even post anywhere. This is just like super confusing. So staying consistent, no matter how many no's you're getting, if you've missed Success Club, whether you're hitting it or not, showing up on social media is, to me, the most important thing. And how you're going to build trust with people, and that does take time. And obviously that's what this business is about, is having that long-term vision. um, my second tip is reels on Instagram. I don't know if you guys are all on Instagram or not, but take advantage of this, you guys. There's such a huge growth that can happen with reels right now. It's so new on Instagram, and they are rewarding people that are using it. And there's so much more potential and views that you can get on your page from using reels than you can in a post. And it's just another fun, creative way to post. I feel like something that you could make 3 paragraphs long, you could put that in a different creative way into a reels. And I kind of feel like that's where we're going as a society, and what's engaging to us is short videos. That's why TikTok is taken off since last year, and the same with reels. It's those short videos that people want to see, or music behind, or instead of reading posts. Not that posts are out or anything like that, but reels is a huge way. Like, if you're not taking advantage of it, you should. And that kind of goes into my third tip is, obviously social media is always changing, but be willing to learn and grow with that. I remember when TikTok, well, I know it didn't come out last year, but I feel like it got really popular around the time that COVID hit and everybody was at home. That's when I got on it, at least. And it was so overwhelming to me. Like, I was like, I want to post on this. Like, I have like a lot of good ideas, but I didn't know how to use it. And I got really discouraged, and I ended up, I think I was like, forget it, I don't want to do it. And then I ended up having to ask another coach, like, for her to teach me, because I didn't know how to do it. Like, I even looked on YouTube and I couldn't find it. And now, like, I had a recent TikTok go viral. It had nothing to do with Beachbody, but it was still exciting. And I've had so much growth happen over there in just 2 months. And it's like, you just never know what's going to happen. Like, and just taking advantage of, learning something new and sticking with the times. And like I said, if you're not on TikTok, like, I'm not saying you have to be on TikTok, but if you're on Instagram and you're growing your business and you're not doing reels, like, be willing to change and learn new things, because I feel like that's what you have to do. And I feel like back in 2017, if I had that pivotal moment, like I said, if I was like, no, Instagram's too scary for me, I don't want to talk on my stories, I don't want to do any of that, I could have just stuck with Facebook, but I don't feel like I would have gotten anywhere, because I wasn't willing to learn and grow. And that's what you have to do as an entrepreneur, and especially in this business when we're growing our business on social media. So be willing to change with it, and remember to have fun. I feel like reels to me is really fun, but I love making videos. I love putting music behind it. I think it's just a fun, creative way to share different things. So again, if TikTok's not your jam or whatever, don't feel like you have to be on every social media platform, but find something that you find joy in and stay consistent with it. My fourth tip is, if you find yourself struggling in this business, which I have so many times, start a program and follow it start to finish. Because I feel like the times that I was struggling in this business, it was really when I was struggling in my own health and fitness journey, and I wasn't feeling 100% myself, and really just diving into myself first, whether that was personal development or my nutrition was off. And I feel like when you're following a program and you're following the nutrition plan and reading personal development, and just that creativity comes out and you have more confidence. Obviously, I feel like we all know this. So if you find yourself struggling, think about, okay, should I start a program from start to finish? I feel like that is how my business kicked off with 80-day obsession back in the day. And most recently with 9-week control freak. I did that from when it came out in January. And I also did the 75 hard challenge. And I just feel like it was kind of like revamping for the year. And so that is a huge thing. And I also feel like that's how you build trust, is people watching you start something and actually finish it and show up every day, and they're gonna, that's how you build trust with people. My fifth tip is have a vision in this business, whatever it is. And I know that looks different for everybody. A brand new coach it could be something as small as I want to pay for my groceries, or you could have a vision like I did where I wanted to get away from my full-time job. Whatever it is, have that where you can see it every single day. I have a vision board behind my computer. And I feel like on those days where you get those no's, or people have ghosted you, or you get those coach cancellations, like, just knowing why you're doing this and having the vision is what is going to get you through it and prevent you from quitting. And the last part, pretty much what Brittany said earlier, was just don't give up. I feel like in this business, it really is time plus consistency will equal success. Like it's just inevitable. If you're showing up every single day and you're putting in the work and you're being consistent over time, you will have success in this business. So that's pretty much it. I hope that I didn't talk too fast and I hope I didn't leave anything out, but yeah.
No, oh my gosh. Okay. So you guys, she had 500 followers. She said about like, when she first got onto Instagram and, probably brought most of her Facebook people who were around. Yeah. Usually that's kind of where we start with, right? Is like our contacts get dropped over there.
I know it was probably like one of those like, oh, these are all your Facebook friends. And then they just, that's how it was.
Yeah, totally. Which is actually a pro tip, by the way. I don't think we do that enough anymore. Like if you haven't done that in a while, like
I need to write that down.
Me too.
Check my Facebook followers.
But you have like upwards of 8,000.
I think it's like 8,500. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to get to that 10K. I want the swipe up button.
So close for you. So talk to us. Can you talk to us a little bit? And this is why I will ask her this question. You guys, I will not ask everybody this question. You know why? If you have 30K followers and only 20 people are liking your content, I don't care that you have 30K followers. I want to know why your content isn't engaging to the people you have, because there's a big discrepancy. But if you were to go to her page on Instagram, there is engagement. There's a lot of people liking her stuff, and there's a lot of people viewing her reels, and there's a lot of people commenting and engaging. So I will ask this to Sonya, because to me, the number matches the audience, right? So can you talk to us about the growth, what you've done over time? What kind of strategies do you use in best practice? I know you said reels for sure, but do you use any other following methods, unfollowing methods, or any other growth hacks that we need to know about?
Oh gosh. So over the years, I've definitely made mistakes. At one point, what was the name? It was the company that would help you find followers. And I did that for like 2 months. Like I don't obviously recommend, that was like in 2018 when I first started. I was like, oh, I just need to get my followers up. Don't recommend that, but that probably, I don't even know how many that got me, but they didn't engage at all. It was awful. I don't recommend that. Whatever, you live and you learn, right? That's where the growth happens. But so yeah, that was like a mistake I made in the very beginning. But since then, I feel like most recently, I really just have to go out and engage with other people, finding people, whether that's with a hashtag, with a page that I like. Usually my go-to is, I'm just trying to think like if there's an influencer, like a blogger or a fashion blogger, or a page like on the explore page, a post that pops out to me, or like I have 3 dogs. So like any pictures with dogs, if it's like a bigger page, I will go to the post and see the people that are, scroll through the people that have liked it, because I know that those are the most, they're active if they're liking it. And I just kind of go through and kind of just by the profile picture look and say, okay, do we, look like we have something in common? Click on it, show them some love, go to their stories. I don't spend a ton of time, and then I follow. And then I always make sure if I get followers, I'm sending them a DM, thanking, introducing myself, thanking them for the follow. Reels has honestly been huge. I've had a few reels go viral, but they were viral for me anyways. And that got me a couple, like, I don't even know how many followers. So that was exciting. I'm trying to think of like what else I've really done recently. Definitely the hashtags. One thing I do is if I come across a page that I'm like, okay, that page I would have a lot in common, or have a bunch of people that be like me, I'll save that. So that way when it's time, like each day when I'm doing my power hour or whatever, I have it saved already. So I'm not just spending 20 minutes looking for a profile. I'm like, okay, I can just go to my saved post, click on this one, and then I go find people for 20 minutes, or, connect with people. And then as far as just the people I already have, it's honestly still a struggle for me, but I try to go through my followers, or like go to my last post. And if, I can't remember, I think this was a Gary V podcast or something I heard the other day, but he's like, if 150 people took the time to like your post, you better be going to their page and showing them love. And that was kind of like a gut check for me, because I'm like, I'm always constantly trying to look for new followers, but I'm like, am I showing love to the ones I already have and engaging with them? So that's something I definitely make sure I do now, is like go to my last post and like go through and make sure I'm showing love to everybody that was liking my stuff, or just my followers in general, checking people are watching my stories, things like that. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That's so many great opportunities for growth right there. And on that same note, Leah's asking about when you're following accounts. Do you ever, like, at what point do you feel like somebody's too big of an account to follow because, you're either going to get lost in the mix of all the people that are engaging with them, they might not even notice you followed, or what does that look like for you?
I mean, I usually just find smaller accounts to follow, like maybe, I mean, 5,000 followers and below because I'm at 8,000. But that mean if you only have 500 followers, I try to find accounts that are around wherever you're at in your business and on Instagram.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't normally like if they have more than me, I won't bother because I still feel like I get lost in the mix. But sometimes if I find a good account, but like maybe they have 20,000, I'm like, hey, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to follow this account, but I'm going to go through the likes on their post.
Yep.
Because like I'm connecting or I'm liking the content they're putting out, or it's super helpful, or they're a dog mom or whatever. So I'm sure all the people that are following are like, we're going to connect and relate in some way.
Yeah, no, that's so good. So then, Leah, you could use those book bloggers and follow their followers for sure. Kristen asked about reels and videos, and I kind of had a similar question in regard to, like you said, with TikTok too. When you're doing that, do you have certain content? Do you go more of like the just trying to get viewers and what's trending? Do you have a strategy for how you're deciding what to use for reels?
Sorry, I went to click on my reels. So it's still new, I feel like, to anybody. In the beginning, I just did I'm trying to go back from the beginning. I would do like recipes or like how I make my coffee or dog ones. I never really put myself, or I did workout ones. I never really got on the trend or did the lip syncing ones that they have because it was intimidating. I was like, I don't even know how to do that. Just like stories was to me. I never said this to begin with, but kind of side note, when I first started at Instagram, like talking on my stories was terrifying to me. Like, I feel like the first time I did it, I didn't look at who watched it for 24 hours. Because like, I don't even know who just saw that. So like, sorry, my dogs are barking. So I feel like it's just always a growth thing. So reels didn't come easy for me either. Like, it was like, I had no clue what I was really doing. The first post I just threw up was like how I make a detox bath. And I don't even think sorry. I don't know if y'all can hear them, but like the text wasn't even timed right. But I was like, I'm just gonna do it because like that's how you start. And so in the beginning, it was just things like that. How I made my shake. I'm kind of just going through my reels so I can remember. How I make overnight oats. I'd show my workouts. And then I was like, I really need to show my face more in these. So I kind of would just go through reels, like, and see which ones I liked, which ones I could recreate. And I kept it, kind of the more simple ones because I was like terrified, honestly. I would say, I don't know when Reels came out. I feel like it was like last August, and I probably didn't do a face one until like February of this year. So there was a good time where I just was like, they were still intimidating to me. But that's one of my biggest tips is go through Reels and then save the ones that you're like, okay, I could recreate that. Because I feel like that's what Reels is about. It's not necessarily you have to be so creative and come up with your own trend. It's like finding ones that you like and just recreate that in your own way because it's going to be funny and different with every single person. Or if I find like audios that I like that maybe somebody used it for a completely different thing and I'm like, oh, I could do this, but in my own way. Like for instance, there's an audio that I did. I think it was like, I can't even remember at this point. Sorry, I thought I could find it. But I shared like how I'm that person that my vehicle's always on E. My husband always gets super mad about it. I don't like going and getting gas. Like, it's like, I'm that person, which now I don't really leave the house, but like every time he gets in my Jeep, it's on E. Not every time, but it's like he has to go get the gas. Like that's just me. So there was an audio and I wish I could find it. Let me see if I can. And I was basically like, oh, it was this one. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It was the how bizarre. Anyway, so I was like, how bizarre that it's on E. He's like, really? How bizarre? So it's just fun things like that it's like, oh, I like that audio, but I want to do it in my own spin. Or sometimes I'll see one and it's like, no, I just want to recreate that exactly, but like with myself or my dogs or whatever. So I think my biggest tip for that, I don't know if I answered that question or not. Sometimes I feel like I ramble, but I would just say go through reels and find ones that you like, that you're like, this is funny. Or if you're brand new to them, be like, okay, I could do this. And like maybe start really simple and then go from there. But again, it did not come easy for me. And for months, I didn't even show my face on them. It would be like a tutorial or how I made my recipes or things like that. So
I love that you mentioned though that like even when Instagram stories started, I mean, I remember that I starkly remember you guys when like there was drama in Beachbody when it was like, oh God, the sky's falling. We have to transition to Instagram. Everybody, pack up your bags. Let's
yeah.
go. And it was like we were entering like the promised land. I don't know. Like it was just like it was new. It was uncharted territory, and we all sucked, and it wasn't good. And you got better. And the same thing applies anytime like a new sort of platform or trend comes out like this. Yeah. There's that one where you can like do the hand and then come away. And I still can't really figure that one out. And I laugh so hard at myself at how bad the edits are whenever I try to do like a
So I had to have a good one of my coaches got really good at them, the face to face or transitions. And
yeah.
I was like, okay, I need to do what you're doing, but you need to teach me. So I had to like have her teach me. But I did that hand one when I got my hair done. It was like how you feel before and after you get your hair done. And
Yeah.
so it was like I had like my glasses on and then, it came away and my hair was done. So it really is just like learning or trying to figure out and playing around with it.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, I feel like, I say I got on TikTok and everything. And like, I don't want you guys to feel like you need to be on all the platforms to be successful in this, because it's what really happened for me. I feel like last year's TikTok came out and I loved the video. I loved watching them. And I was like, I'd love to create them. And then when Reels came on Instagram, I was like, okay, this is like the TikTok of Instagram. I'm already here. I'm already growing my business. And then I still post on TikTok. Sometimes I would take those and put them as a reel on Instagram. So it's like you're not, working twice. But it really is like, I mean, Reels is new to everybody. So it's not like I'm over here being a professional or anything. I feel like I started before I was ready. And my first ones, you guys can scroll on my page. They weren't the best. And you can see I didn't show my face for a while because it terrified me. But then it's like, then you just learn and you do it and you post it and then you get a lot of good feedback, I feel like, and it just becomes fun. Like I really like making people laugh. So I like to do the trend ones because people love it. Like I like to just be funny and my followers that I have love it. So do what makes you happy and what's fun to you, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And that's such a great tip about like we've talked about it before with using your scroll to like serve your business, right? Like don't just mindlessly scroll, like use it to serve. So if you happen to see a reel where you're like, I love the audio, or oh, I love the way they did this, like save it, pin it, right?
Mhm.
Pin it to a board so that you don't forget about it when the time comes for you to like batch, you can
Well,
batch make reels, right?
yeah, and I feel like also, like, sometimes you're just not like, lately, I have not been in a mood to make a reel, like, I don't remember last time I posted if you guys are going to my pages, but then sometimes it's like the week where I'm feeling so creative and so good, so I'll make like 5 of them. I won't post them all at once, but it's like, when you feel good, like, make them and have those to post on a day where you feel like crap. Like, the same thing with regular posts. And another thing I do is I have a note section in my phone, and so if I get an idea or whatever, I will, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have reels to do. And I just have a long list of stuff that I've had this list going for months. It's just ideas that I get. Sometimes I make them, sometimes I don't. But definitely the scrolling. If you're scrolling through reels already, do it as okay, this is fun and entertaining, but also that you're doing your market research and that you're saving your posts to do later.
Yes, so good. You guys, look at the ownership in her business, right? Like she didn't have an upline that taught her to make a note on her notepad for real ideas. She's just like took ownership of it. I love that. Okay, on the idea of notes, because I'm sure you have a note for this. Talk to us about hashtags. There's some questions coming in on how many you use, and do you use them? Do you have specific ones? How do you find the right hashtag? Do you talk to us about hashtags?
So I've never really mastered hashtags, if I'm being honest. I don't really, I think they work, but I'm not somebody that's over here. Like I don't know them that well. I do have an app that's called Smart Hash. And so I've had like 2 groups of hashtags, and I should probably update this, to be honest with you, but it kind of looks like this. Like I have a dog mom one and then like a general one. And what you can do is copy all. I don't know if you guys have it or not. So, and then it just makes it easier to post. But so like have a dog mom. If I post the dogs or whatever, it's just like all dog mom ones. And the general one is just like, it's just different parts of me. And obviously I won't use all 30 if the post has nothing to do with that. But I would, like I have, that married life and dog mom goals and Florida girl. Um, Again, I'm not the master at them. I feel like if I go look at my posts though, and I do get engagement from hashtags, so I can still continue to use them, but do I know if they're working? I don't really know. I feel like find the things that make you you and that maybe you're posting about and I usually do about 20 to 30 of them. I know that you're not supposed to, I don't think it allows you to post more than 30. Um, but yeah, I don't know if that was really helpful or not. I always feel like I've just never mastered it. I just kind of throw them up there in my post and hope they work, but um, you know, I don't really know if they are or not.
Yeah, I love that though, because I don't have that app, so I'm definitely going to look that up. Thank you for that. And I love grouping them. That's a great tip for our coaches is,
Yep.
you don't want to put a dog mom hashtag when it truly has nothing to do with dog momming because when people go into that search, it's not relevant to what they're like actually there for. And so I love that you have it batched based on the type of post and like what you're sharing that day. That's really important.
And I mean, you can also just do this in the notes section of your phone, like you said too. You don't have to have that app, but it makes it easy because you can create a bunch of different ones, which I guess you could do in the notes section too. But yeah, it's called Smart Hash.
Cool. Awesome.
I
I
just
don't,
read the comment about my dogs are looking around trying to find the dog that's barking. So I have 3 dogs, and then we're watching my mom's Chihuahua. So that little Chihuahua, that's hers because she's out of town. So that's the one you're hearing. So I have 4 dogs right now. So it's a lot.
I love that I'm
They
not the only
settled
one.
on my lap. Now they've decided not
Oh my gosh,
to look
that's adorable.
for years, but yeah,
I would have them.
they're
I have to shut my door.
in my recliner with me. This recliner not built for
Stephanie.
giant dogs.
Um, I was just sorry. I'm just now opening up the comments. Thank you for telling me the questions that are on here. Because if that was up while I was talking, I'd be so distracted. But yes, to Leah, the rainbow hashtag. Yeah, that's the icon for Smart Hash.
Cool. Yay. Well, I think I got to all the questions in the chat. You guys, if you take, I don't know, this is what I'm walking away, like you are unstoppable, Sonya. Like you have the grit, the tenacity, the perseverance over time, the like solution-based mindset that I just see you as unstoppable. Like that's how I see you. And I'm so glad you got to pour into us tonight. So thank you so much for all of your time and energy.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope it was helpful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it. I'll get the recording up soon. And oh, no, that's not it. I have to take a picture.